Hey guys. All right. So, I decided I'm going to work on some pins tonight for you guys. And my son's probably going to kick my butt because
Working on a pin too.
so I'm going to go ahead and get a pin out there for you. All right, give me a second, guys. Okay, guys. All right. So this is living without running water. And I figured this one was just too important to pass up. So, here we go. Living without running water. All right, this is from Homestead Honey, inspiration for your modern homestead. This was written October 28th, 2015. Living without running water, homesteading, off-grid living. For the past 5 years, our family has been living without running water. Instead, we live with what I have referred to as walking water. In our case, the walking part, I just got jump scared by a fly. I thought it was a spider. Don't laugh at me. The walking part has been quite literal, walking hundreds of gallons of water in buckets from one place to another. That could be what we end up doing. I admit living without running water has been one of the bigger challenges of developing a homestead from scratch, particularly when our dreams, plans, and actions include planting hundreds of fruit trees and two large gardens, raising chickens, ducks, lambs, bees, dairy cows, and keeping a family of 4 clean, fed, and hydrated. For us, it's a family of 5, so. And out of those animals, it's going to be chickens, ducks, geese, bees, dairy goats, turkeys, rabbits, and quail. So, yeah. Honestly, when we moved to northeast Missouri, we didn't set out to live without running water, but we were very excited to try water catchment. We had a well at our Oregon homestead, and several of our friends and neighbors here in Missouri have city water, but we chose to build a home at the end of a quarter-mile graveled dead-end road atop a hill. The logistics and expense of piping in water or digging a well were overwhelming to our budget. We decided to start with water catchment and see how it went.
Too bad that this thing fell apart because it is delicious.
We learned that it is a viable option for us if we continue to add our water storage capacity, preferably with an underground cistern. Come on. How do we collect and store rainwater? In practical terms, what does living without running water look like? First and most importantly, it involves catching water and storing it. Now, see, that still is an option for us, especially if we register our tiny home as off-grid. We could do water catchment. I've just got to look into the requirements and stuff like that. So we collect water from 2 sources. Every metal roof of our homestead and a homestead pond. We were so fortunate to move onto a piece of property that already had a large, deep pond within close distance to our home site. The pond is ringed by willows and cattails. It is remarkably clear and cold, is fed from a watershed completely housed on our land, and is incredibly private. We use pond water for animals, gardens, bathing, and some household use. We also collect rainwater from the metal roofs of our house, tool shed, cow barn, and chicken coop. Water is collected via gutters into 50-gallon... Sorry, guys. Food-grade barrels, which we purchased at our local Pepsi company distributor for about $10 per barrel. Now, I don't know if we would have that option or not. We could look into, like, Lansing for that. Oh, I hate it. Accidentally hit the back button. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Your holiday mashup dessert created with other bakers.
We have a total of 550 gallons of water storage as well as a 50-gallon stock tank. In the winter months, freezing is an issue, so we take our barrels offline, but do collect snow melt and rainwater into open buckets and containers that we store indoors and in our homestead root cellar. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Kinda. There we go. How do we collect and filter water for drinking and cooking? We have a Berkeley water filter that we use to render our cooking and drinking water potable. All right, I'm going to have to look into the Berkeley water filters. I've heard they're pretty expensive, but if we're going to do rainwater catchment, we're going to need the really good ones. So, hope and pray we get a job. Like Scott gets a job, at least. I want to work on getting the businesses up and going. Because I think that's going to be more profitable. Let me rephrase that. I think that's going to be better for Faith First Farm and Homestead in the long run. Because it's going to help get us up and going. My farm's being stupid. Sorry, guys. Really?
I just feel like an outcast like you.
We use rain and snowmelt exclusively in our Berkeley, and although in an emergency situation we could filter pond water. Our Berkeley is one of my favorite homestead tools. Not only does it make it possible for us to continue living without running water, but it makes the water taste delicious. I highly recommend it for any homesteader, as you can use it for emergency filtration as well as day-to-day use. Water for drinking and cooking represents a mere fraction of our overall water use. I'd estimate we use about 2 gallons per day. We have the big Berkeley model that filters 3.75 gallons of water per hour. That's 3.75 gallons of water per hour. And it is more than adequate for our family of four's needs. If we host guests, we try to get ahead of our water filtration and set some aside to meet the needs of more people. Collecting water for animals, plants, and household use. Because this is the bulk of our water usage, we end up fetching most of the water we need for plants, animals, and house from the pond, carrying 5-gallon buckets by hand. Now see, the problem out here is I couldn't actually put a pond in ground out here. Because the land out there on the 5 acres, or the 3 acres like behind the barns and out where our trailer is, it's been contaminated by chemicals from the farmers. So I couldn't put a pond in out there. For the ducks, I'm going to have to use a kiddie pool. It's the other reason why we have to build raised garden beds, because of the chemicals in the soil from the farmers. We have thought about purchasing a solar water pump to move water from the pond to our home site, but we're still debating over the investment. Our neighbors' topography has enabled them to build a pond at an elevation higher than their garden. With a freeze-proof hydrant, they have a year-round source of water for gardens and animals. The chicken coop and cow barn both have barrels and stock tanks to meet their water needs, so in the summer months, watering our animals is quite simple. Keeping the animals watered in winter is more difficult, as our winter water protocol at this time is rather rustic. How to water the garden without running water? That leaves the following. Garden, dishes, fruit trees, bathing and showers, miscellaneous water use. The fruit trees have been the easiest to keep watered because we use gray water from our dishwashing. We collect our gray water in 5-gallon buckets and water our trees in rotation. Now see, that I would have to make sure that our dish soap and our laundry soap and all of that was not only biodegradable, but also without chemicals, without harmful chemicals. Which, I mean, that's not really that hard to do. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of recipes out there. So, and I'll be putting quite a few of those on here too. So, all right. We are committed to very clean dishes, no greasy residue. So that means heating water on the wood stove, rocket stove, propane stove, or in the sun oven for each and every batch of dishes. When we get our income taxes, that is going to be one of the things I'm going to get, is a sun oven, along with a vehicle and then a sun oven, because we desperately need that in the time frame we're living in. Definitely. We found that washing dishes with cold water just does not cut it. We pour hot water and biodegradable dish soap into a plastic bin for washing and simply pour clean water over the dishes to rinse. Yeah. The garden's water needs largely depend on rainfall. I've gotten very good at following the forecast, anticipating the rain, and sowing seeds accordingly. When we are blessed with rain every 1 to 2 weeks, the garden needs very little irrigation. However, in a drought situation, we have to hand water, and this involves many, many trips to the pond. This summer's 2-month drought meant that some plants just didn't make it. I ended up with a much smaller fall and winter garden than I had planned. Bathing without running water. Really? Come on. I know you're all thinking, how do we stay clean living without running water? How do we stay clean living without running water? Okay. I'll sideshow it to you. There's their shower setup. Which I actually like that. That's pretty cool. In the summer months, we swim daily in our homestead pond. This keeps us all pretty clean, and we also take showers in the super awesome outdoor shower that my husband built this spring. In the winter months, we keep things very simple. Every Sunday is Bath Sunday, and we each have a turn taking a bucket shower in front of the wood stove. It's so very Little House on the Prairie. We also have a YMCA membership, and workout time leads nicely into hot shower time. Future plans for water catchment and water storage. We seem to be able to tackle one large homestead project every 6 months. First our house, then a tool shed, next our solar electric system, followed by a cow and a cow barn, and finally a homestead root cellar. Excuse me, what are you? Ladybug, get off my computer. No, I did not kill it. We were able to watch our neighbors construct a concrete water cistern this summer and learned much from their experience and also from our experience constructing a root cellar. Next summer, I imagine we'll install an underground cistern for house water and perhaps a solar water pump for our gardens. In some ways, it's ironic and perhaps a sign of our times that we have high-speed internet but are living without running water. And some days there is a lot of stress involved with not having a faucet that turns on and off. But most of the time, I feel a huge sense of relief that we are able to provide our family with amazing tasting, clean, and non-treated water. And that's important. All in all, having no running water has become part of our lives, and we have found ways to bathe, cook, and water the plants that work for us as a family with young children. For tips on how to survive temporarily without running water, you can check out a bunch of other different posts. There's one called Creating Your Off-Grid Homestead. There's a downloadable ebook called Creating Your Off-Grid Homestead, which I'm not going to do. Alright, and that was it for living without running water. And I'll go ahead and get this up there, and I will see what I can do about another video. You guys just remember, guys, do your research. These videos, go through the videos, because there's lots and lots and lots of information out here. There's lots of homesteading videos on YouTube. I've put out a lot of informational videos. And just do your research, you guys. Make sure you get that knowledge base. And write stuff down, because you're going to need it. Or get on Amazon and buy a book here. A book in 1 or 2 books. Every paycheck. Alright. Get off from here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Check your subscriptions, you guys. Make sure you're still subscribed. Like and share the videos. Share them on all your platforms with friends and family, other homesteaders, and the like. And Make sure you, when you check your subscriptions, to make sure you're subscribed, click on the notification bell and click on all so you get all the notifications. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.